One of the biggest pitfalls we can have when we're having a problem with our health is believing that our disease inside our body is very unique and difficult to understand. Because when we adopt that mindset, we're telling ourselves it's impossible to recover. You're already setting off with a back step, on the back step. Disease shows itself differently in everyone, but ultimately it comes down to a lot of similar issues in people's lives. If you think about the word dis-ease, you're not at ease. So what is it that's causing you uneasiness in your life? Are you living with an abusive person? Are you living in a social situation that is not beneficial to you in your recovery? Are you unaware of how toxic you are to yourself inside your mind and how you speak to yourself? Are you consuming a lot of toxicity through stimulants and toxic foods, seed oils and everything? Are you consuming a lot of toxicity through your eyes? Are you, every spare moment you kick your legs up on the sofa and you watch Dexter, Game of Thrones, people getting decapitated, then playing video games? Or are you scrolling through social media and looking at everything that you're not and judging yourself and putting yourself down? Are you receiving toxicity through your ears? By having someone you live with speak down to you so much that it's become the norm. All these things can cause uneasiness in us. And our body has to demonstrate or talk to us in some way to help us move out of that situation. And it's sad, but it gets to the point where the body has to get so loud that it incapacitates you. So what is it about your life and where you're at? Is there a correlation? That's something you have to really think to yourself and journal and really meditate on. For me, I had an extremely toxic relationship with a family member. Extremely toxic. And because I grew up in toxicity, I was not aware of how it would affect me. And I'm not saying it was always toxic, but the relationship developed over time into something that was very toxic. And before you knew it, I was being who the person wanted me to be rather than being James myself. And was an important realization to know when just realizing what I wanted and where I wanted to be. I wanted to recover. How do I fix that situation? How do I start saying yes to myself? Whenever I spoke to anyone with a chronic illness, there's so many common themes. Everyone's unique, don't get me wrong. Everyone has unique circumstances and people may have unique things that they need to add to their recovery program. But ultimately, it's behaviors and relationships and toxicity and all these things that have flooded our cup of what we can deal with. And it's brimming over the edges. And the body's trying to get us to change something, to try and shift the course of your life. And how else would the body communicate to you? You know, chances are, if you had a chronic illness now, let's say you never had a chronic illness, but you lived in all this toxicity, you'd probably continue it. The body would have failed you and allowed you to continue living a life that actually isn't good for you. I might even be at home still. Oh God, my God, just the thought of it, you know. But by having such dis-ease and such issues with my health where it's debilitated, the course of my life after I acknowledged everything and moved forward and really loved myself and said yes to myself and became selfish with my needs for a change, that the course of my life shifted in a much more positive direction. It was like the best thing in that situation that could have happened. It's the only thing that probably would have got me out of that situation. So don't think about things that are going to hinder you in your recovery. Don't tell yourself that, oh, my situation's so unique and so unbelievably different that all these other people that are recovering from different things, they don't have the identical thing as me, it's not going to work for me. Why are you punishing yourself like that? Why are you telling yourself things so that you can't recover? Do you really hate yourself that much to the point where you shouldn't be allowed to even think about recovery? But why? Why are you thinking like that? You deserve health. You deserve it. It's a human right. It's a living right. To live, you should be able to live. So why do you feel like you don't deserve it? Why are you scared of it? Now that's another topic. For a long time I was scared at the idea of recovering because all the things I'd have to acknowledge. Not that I was conscious of it at the time, but I remember being fearful. Like at 22, I'd never had a job, never had a girlfriend. I lived indoors for bloody hell 6-7 years up until that point. And I thought I'd attempt to eat better and drink water and do little things. And I'd get these panic attacks like, yeah, but if I recover, I'm going to have to find a job and then I'm going to have to leave home and I'm going to have to, instant gratification just to escape from that feeling. It's very important that we acknowledge and understand ourselves. Because at the end of the day, a lot of disease and recovery is all about a journey to yourself. Where are we supposed to be, It's not with disease. No one's supposed to have disease. I mean, if you're on a complete roller coaster that's nothing to do with yourself like I was, then disease was the best thing that happened to me. But you know what I mean? Ill health isn't where anyone should spend their life. But yeah, don't get into that habit of thinking your problems are so much far different than everyone else. I did it all the time. I'd go into, my story is that I was not breastfed, and then I had antibiotics as a kid, and then I was fully vaccinated and had a reaction to the BCG vaccination. Then I had loads of tetracycline for 3 weeks at a time that screwed up my liver for acne, which is retarded. And then I was bitten by a tick, which means I could have Lyme disease mixed in there. My case is so interweaved and complicated. And all that mental masturbation did was keep me paralyzed from actually doing anything about it. And it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you, doesn't help your life, doesn't help anything by thinking that. Don't do it.